can make a lot of money from sex tapes. First of all money isn't good money.
South Cat, what's going on, Metro? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Angela, hey, how you doing? How you doing? Y'all, I'm doing a little drop-in. I'm taking a little break from getting my little mess together, so I decided to come on for a minute. Um, this light is terrible. Hold up. Whew. Let me get some good light. Sipping with Dimples. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Let me get this thing set up, y'all. Okay. How are you guys doing? Come on in. Come on in. Woo. Long time no hear from. I finished. Did you finish sipping? I forgot to check back in. Yeah, I finished. Everything that I saved, I ended up using for the house. Tirana, hey, how you doing? How are you folks doing? So we're gonna try to scoot over a little bit. Get on here real quick. I don't plan on staying on here too long. I just wanted to come and catch up with you guys because it's like a lot of stuff that's been going on, and I've just been sitting back and watching and chilling and laughing and hadn't been able to see too much. But one of the things that I have been seeing, and I'm tickled. A lot of people a lot of people don't like when folks tend to get straight. Let me see how I'm gonna say this. A lot of people want you to just get straight to the point and just say whatever you're gonna say. They don't like for you to come with hyperboles and different stories and soliloquies and things of that nature. But I am enjoying the storytelling of it all. So one of the things that I have been tuning into, and other people may not find it interesting. I find it interesting because I know some of the stories that are being told. So I'm looking, and we have someone that might come across as quite controversial. We've heard a lot of comments. I've been watching some of the As Is podcast. I've been watching the As Is podcast, and I'm just tickled pink. And I'm tickled because of the stories and the indirect messages that are getting put out. And this is the thing about me that frustrates people. So I'm getting tickled that people aren't getting the full story, and they're actually having to sit and listen and try to figure stuff out. And that tickles the mess out of me. I know I may seem weird, but that tickles the mess out of me. I'm like, wait for it. Okay, you're gonna have to wait for the next one. But on a serious note, I'm still gonna laugh about that because he got me on that. On a serious note, without getting into, all of the behind the scenes and all the extra stuff, I'm still saving more because I thought it was extended. I'm doing both challenges. Okay, keep saving, sippings, keep saving. But you got to give us a cutoff. Like, let us know what's going on, Daz. Let us know, like by the end of March. Where you at by the end of March? So once upon a time when I was really talking about stuff, I let you know that there were a lot of things that were going on behind the scenes that a lot of people didn't know about. And people would get upset, or they would say, oh, you just saying that, or y'all just saying that, y'all always saying that. And there's a reason for me, myself, why I say, I did some deductibles. For me, myself, why I say, some things you just have to pray on them. Some things you have to pray about, because it's like so much going on, like you can't keep up with it. And it's so much more than what the average person would even consider. One thing that I will say, without going into everything, but there were a lot of things in previous videos that I had told you guys, people that I had mentioned, people that folks said weren't real, events that happened that folks said didn't happen, like they question it. And as you sit back and listen to a lot of the stuff and watch a lot of the things that are going on, you will see that not once have I ever told you a lie. Some things have to come out in their own time, and I guess it depends on who the person is that's actually putting the information out, whether or not people will receive that information. So I'm just sitting here, and I'm like, oh, he going in. Oh, he telling. He about to put them on notice. So I'm just, yeah. But it's enough for you guys to see, for those who are truly trying to be free thinkers and like really look at situations for what they are. Once you start listening to the real stories, you will see that this is more than just some bloggers talking on YouTube. This is more than, oh, well, why are they doing this now? Why she not talking about this over here? And why everything is not for everybody to know. And there's some things that people aren't going to understand. And for a lot of people can't handle the truth. Like if they really knew the intricacies of everything that was going on, if you can't handle this small detail, then what will you do with some real information? Like a lot of people can't even handle the false information that's being put out. So if you have the real information that's being put out, how are you going to be able to handle that if you can't handle the small things? Does that make sense? If you can't handle the stuff that's not true, that's just floating around in the streets that people are just throwing out there, then if you get the real information, how are you going to handle it? Because there is a lot involved. And contrary to what people on here saying, that's why I decided not to follow a lot of things up. Because in some situations, in these situations, I know what I know. That's it, and that's all. And certain things, and I'm pretty sure this is for anybody that's been involved in any of this stuff. For certain things, you don't have to go back and forth arguing with people over stuff that you know. And that's what people don't understand. It's like, it's not something that's up for debate. It's not something that we're going to go back and forth and argue about. You either believe the truth or you believe the lie. And if you decide that you want to believe the lie, then I'm going to stop trying to convince you of what the truth is, and I'm going to let you figure stuff out on your own. That's where I have been for a long time. I have been, that has been my thing for a long time, because at some point it's like, why even bother? Why even bother? If people gonna go with whatever story feels best to them. Like if it makes them feel good, shoot. If it makes them feel bad, and get them to, they can go to a place and like Charlotte, like whatever floats their boat. Like that's what they're gonna go with. But there are so many twists and turns. So to some extent, I feel I'm glad that somebody has the wherewithal, that somebody has the balls to put some of this stuff out, and they're not worried about the consequences of it, or they can't be affected a certain way by the consequences of putting certain things out. I'm glad that there is somebody, or there's somebodies that are at the point where they're like, F it. It is what it is. Because it's good. I mean, it's fun to go and listen to people joke and talk about people. And, well, it's not fun for me, but whatever. You get your entertainment. That's what this thing is here for. You get your entertainment. But at the end of the day, you got to want some truth at some point. You got to want some truth at some point. And we have to get out of this fantasy world. A lot of people are like in this fantasy world. And let me say this video or these comments that I'm making at this particular point, they are not aimed at anybody. If this should sound like you, that's completely coincidental. Okay? So don't come at me trying to do all this other stuff. I'm not going to respond. I don't care. Okay? I'm not. In the real world, real people do real things. Real people do real things. And just because you may like someone, that does not mean that they're exempt from doing terrible things. That doesn't make them a bad person, but it does mean that even though it's somebody that you may like, they're not necessarily doing what's right. They're not necessarily being straightforward or honest with you. And I think in this particular, what's going on with this whole situation, and this is the true definition of a debacle. What's going on with this particular debacle is so many people are getting caught up in who they like and who they don't like that they completely overlook the truth. The truth will be there, like it has been there for a long time, sitting there looking you in the face. And because you don't like this or you don't like that, or somebody told you not to listen to this or somebody told you not to like that, you completely overlook the truth. And then when it comes back from somebody else, it's like, oh, like you have an aha moment. Like you weren't already told what the goings on was. And I think that's one of the things that frustrates me. And I've said this before, I've said it several times. I don't like when my people, I don't like when my people get taken advantage of. I don't like when people handle my people like we're slow. And you see it all the time. All the time. Sunshine, what's going on, lady? You see it all the time. Like, we sit back and we watch people get handled. We watch people get lied to. I mean, you watch people being manipulated. You see it and you try to tell people, but people are going to believe and they're going to do what they want to do, and it is our right to do so. But if somebody tries to warn you about it, then you can't get upset whenever you finally find out that somebody got over on you because somebody tried to tell you. You know? Let me press pause for a second because I hadn't been on here in a while. So I would think that just the mere fact that I came off my hiatus, I need y'all to hit that like button one time. Just a few people to hit that like button one time on here because we got a couple folks up in here. Okay, I see one person hit the like button. Thank you. Thank you for hitting that like. Okay, we got one more. I appreciate you. Thank you. God is good. Thank y'all. I know a lot of times we start watching the video, we don't be thinking about no like button, child. So I got to come back and remind you. But so that's one of the things that I'm looking at. I can't get after you've talked to and you've been associated with certain people, there's a lot of information that you tend to have access to. Information that you didn't necessarily ask for. Stuff that you did not ask for a dog in that fight. But because of the situation that you found yourself in, you found yourself privied to certain information. Or people felt that they could come to you for counsel or some guidance on certain situations. So there are certain things, and I won't put those things out there because that's not my place, but I can tell you that there are some things that if you're listening to that podcast, some of those things can be confirmed. Some of those things can be verified. I don't know about all the stuff that's being talked about over there, but some of those things, can be verified. One of those things in particular, and I'm not going to go into detail about it because it is not my place, but that life story and someone having ownership of that, that's true. That is true. Tracy is falling out. It started shedding so bad. I actually had to go to the endocrinologist today for them to change my thyroid medicine because it started shedding so bad that I almost got like a spot in the middle. So, but yeah, there's a lot of there's just a lot of things that people don't know. And I hope that at some point, after everything is said and done, I'm hoping that the main person that is involved is able to get out and tell his own story. Because people talk about a rabbit hole being deep. The hole so deep it then went from the rabbit to the groundhog to the Easter bunny. Like it's so many twists and turns to it all. And the bad part is, I think the part that bothers me is so many people are caught up in the entertainment of it all that they end up putting bad information out there, and you have people disliking the people that they should be liking and liking the people that they should be staying away from. Like, and you just sit back and you like, you get that Macaulay, what's his name, Macaulay Culkin, like that's kind of like, you sit like, will you stop? Stop. It's you know, but you do get to a point to where you throw your hands up and it's like, okay, believe what you want to believe. Believe what you want to believe. I'm not going to try to tell you anything else. I literally, like, for those that have been following my channel, y'all know I got to that point a long time ago. I got to that point a long time ago, and I said that I was going to leave stuff alone. I would comment on the stuff that I felt was relevant, and the other stuff I would leave alone. That's what I am continuing to do. No, we don't have. I ain't talking about nobody lying. I ain't talking about nobody lying. I'm just talking in general, child. I'm just talking in general. That I really wish that people would really sit back, forget about. Okay, realize when you're being entertained. Okay, when you have people just giving you a bunch of opinions, When you have a bunch of people just giving you a bunch of opinions, then that's just that, opinions. When you have people giving you some factual information, then you go out there and understand that factual information is not all the time, it's not going to be spicy. It's not necessarily going to be something that gets you all, riled up. It might not be the interesting information, but it's the truth. So you have to ask yourself, would you rather get the entertaining information that's loud and all outside and kind of get your juices flowing, or do you want the real information that's going to give you the actual information that you are seeking so that you can have, really know what's going on? It, uh, and this, in this, in this world, it's like up is down and down is up, and you know what I'm saying? Like left is right. As long as these people been following these YouTube folk, they should know the truth from the lies. That's an entertainment. Tracy, I agree with that 100%. I agree with that 100%. Vonda, hey, how you doing? I agree with that 100%. What it boils down to for me, and y'all voice your opinions in the chat. What it boils down to for me, and I would ask you guys, is whenever you're searching for truth, when we get in the house, I wanted to finish decorating. I mean, y'all can see this part. I wanted to finish with the decorations. But I come back and do the actual tour. I wanted to get out my I got a bunch of stuff in here, and that's a whole other video all by itself with me dealing with the moving stuff. But anyway, yeah, so that's why I had to go off the grid for a minute. But when you're looking for the truth, you have to ask yourself, like, we're going to use YouTube specifically. I was going to use an example, but we're going to use YouTube specifically. Whenever you are in search for the truth, you're out here on YouTube and you're in search for the truth, and you're listening to different people, what actually drives you to believe what a person says? When you're searching for the truth, what exactly are you looking for? That's the question that you have to ask yourself. Is it the person that comes, across with the personality that you like? Is that what you're looking for? You're looking for personality? That's all you got to do is look at who lies the most. Right, Daz. Right. Are you looking at the personality of a person? Are you looking at whether or not you got some people their whole thing is you have to believe them. Like, if you don't do anything else, their goal is you must believe me. You have to believe me. So I got to do anything in my power to get you to believe me. Like, what exactly are you looking at? And if someone has a history, if they have a documented history, meaning that you've heard them tell this lie, and maybe you overlooked that first one, but then you heard them tell another one, and maybe you overlooked that one, but then you heard them tell another one. Do they have a documented history of being untruthful, dishonest, manipulating a situation, manipulating their words? Are you really looking at those things? Because if you overlook those things, and that's what a lot of people tend to do, they may catch a person telling this little lie over here, or maybe they stretch the truth on this, but because you like them, you allow them to stretch the truth. Or because somebody else told you to like them, or because somebody else told you to listen to them, then you allow them, you overlook that little white lie that was told, that little blue lie that was told, that little green lie, whatever color the lie was. You tend to overlook those lies, and you put you make them exceptions. So what are you actually looking for in this whole situation when it comes to getting the truth? Or do we even want the truth? I guess that's the question that I should ask the chat. How many people actually want the truth about anything that's going on? Like, how many people really want the truth? Or are you more impressed with the entertainment of it all? Who actually wants the truth? That's the question. Because if you want entertainment, then we have channels for days. Like, I found some new channels. I done came across a few while I've been doing all this stuff. Who wants the truth of it all? Understanding that the truth may not be entertaining. And who's always talking about that? You know, homeland security. Who wants that? Who wants the truth? I do. I don't mind being entertained sometimes, but at some point, like, okay, kiki, you know, whatever. Okay, now it's time to get to the truth. You know what I mean? Like, so you find yourself in this place, and I'm going to speak on something that I saw today. I agree, Daz. I think people want entertainment. Something I saw today, and I'm going to speak on my own stuff. I'll speak on me first. In this whole situation, I have tried my best to make sure that I put truthful and beneficial information out there. But even with that, some information can't be put out. Some information doesn't need to be put out. And I understand that I could put something out that people don't necessarily, like, you may not know what to do with that information. Like, we're all sitting here talking now, and I can give you guys this information and you got it, like 100%, and we can have us a good conversation. That's not the case for everybody. Everybody doesn't know how to process information, and they take it and they end up using it as a weapon. Even if it's something good, they can take that same information and end up using it as a weapon or using it for something negative. I don't know if they do it intentionally or I don't know. But when you had the person asking, can you handle the truth? Like, that's really what that question is all about, because everybody can't handle what you're trying to put out there, especially if they are not willing to hear or accept the truth. If it's all about, I need you to tell me what I want to hear, then no, they're not going to be willing to hear or accept the truth if they just want to hear the stuff that sounds good to them. So no, they're not going to be open to that. That's just not going to work. But you have some people that come into a situation and try, at least they try to be as unbiased as possible. And that's kind of how you have to come in a situation. Just like when we talk about jurors and juries and stuff like that, they have to, well, they're supposed to. The expectation is that they're going to go into that courtroom. They're going to get up on, get in their little corner or whatever, and they're going to be unbiased. This is something I have yet to see in these streets, because the fact of the matter is, if you don't go like, see, here I go with my stories, okay? So and y'all probably gonna get mad, yes, I'm gonna tell a story. If you got Tom and Jerry sitting right here, and everybody likes Tom, okay, whatever Tom does, Tom can do no wrong to the people that like Tom. But Jerry, all Tom got to do is say that Jerry sneezed too hard. And like whatever Tom says, everybody that loves Tom, they're going to go and they're going to believe everything Tom says and bump Jerry. Nobody can stand Jerry. No matter what Jerry says, if Jerry has the truth about what's at the end of the rainbow, like nobody's going to believe Jerry, because Tom has already set the stage for the lies and the manipulation to take place, because he knows that these people that like him, these people that follow him, they're going to believe and do whatever he tells them or asks them to do. This is where the thing comes in that we were talking about before with the puppet masters and the puppeteers. And people do not realize when they are dangling on strings. And for the people that are sitting on the outside watching, you can actually see the manipulation take place. And you also see how it's frustrating. It's frustrating. If you could take the same people that are getting manipulated in this group and put them in a different scenario, take them out of this scenario and put them in a completely different scenario, then the thinking would be the way that it's supposed to be. Like, they'll be like, yeah, that's wrong, or yeah, that's right. But you put them back in this scenario behind this spot, this leader, like they act like they lost all that good sense. Like, I'm sitting up here like, so you okay with them lie? You just heard them lie, right? You okay with that? You okay with that? You gonna let that skate? You gonna let that skate pass like you ain't hear what you just heard? Like, that's kind of like, so. Like I was saying, when it comes to certain things with this, you get to a point where you're like, you know what? I did all that I can do. I did, like I did my job. I feel like I did my due diligence. Like I came in, tried to be helpful. You try to be resourceful. You try to be at that point where you're like, each one teach one and each one reach one. But then you get to the place where, everybody doesn't want to see that happen. Everybody, like when they see people coming together and when it seems like people are getting to the point where they're starting to use their own minds, I want y'all to catch this. When it seems like people are coming together and they're starting to use their own minds, people have a problem with that. So then you have somebody else. Now I just want y'all to check it out. Just check out how things go. Whenever people see you starting to use your own mind and you're starting to put one and one together and make two, not because of somebody told you to think this way, you like literally, you're sitting there and you doing like, it's not even about research. You just sitting back like, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that don't make sense. Okay. And then you start just really going back over stuff, doing that mental replay. People don't like that. So then there comes the confusion. So now that I feel like people are starting to use their own minds, I have to create some type of confusion. I got to create some type of drama because these people are getting to the point where, look, they starting to act like they got sense. They starting to act like they got too much common sense. And it's time for us to do something because we cannot have them running around here like they got sense. That is not beneficial to us. That is not beneficial to our pockets. That is not beneficial to our coins. So we got to go and do something else to try to bring out the foolishness of it all, to get people back on this crazy path again and not actually using their own minds. So then we go and we have a lot of the brainwashing and stuff again. That's all you got to do is pay attention to what they be saying, right? Just seems like a big old circus party. Right about clowns. Put it on the table. Now that I will not disagree with you on that. I would say a word a little bit more stronger than clowns, but yeah, I would not disagree with you on that. I believe the audience is a bunch of old people that don't know nobody. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know about the age. I don't want to try to discriminate against nobody with the age, but it's interesting. It's interesting and it's sad. It's sad. And for me, like I said, I'm watching Jana. Hey, Jana. Lord, I might be pronouncing your name wrong. I'm so sorry. Watching the As Is podcast, watching Shabazz do his thing on there. It's Lord, that piece of hair, boy. Oh Lord, there it go. Okay. It's for me, it's refreshing to see because it's something different. The second thing is making people think. The third thing is y'all actually getting some truth about some things that are going on, some stuff that y'all did not have access to, some things that y'all were not privy to. Now, you're always going to have people to tell you, or they're not telling the truth about this and they're not telling the truth about that. I don't have nothing to do with that. Let me repeat that again. I don't have nothing to do with that. The only thing I can speak on are the things that I know are actually true. And that's what I say on that. And there are some things that I heard that I know for a fact. I'm gonna just say I know. I won't say nothing else. Yeah. So, Jonna. Okay. Thank you. So, I'm appreciating the way that the information is being put out there because it's something different. You know, it's really something different. And going back to what I was going to say about myself, and then moving on to over here. After you're involved in stuff for so long and you're having to hold stuff in, you got a lot of information that, you know, if you would put it out there to set the record straight on a lot of things, it will hush some people up that think they know stuff and they're putting out wrong information. You get to the point where you wish you could say something, like you want to say something just to shut the mess down, but you can't. And it's like at this point, I know for some stuff, and I'm pretty sure he's not going to put everything out there. And even with the way that stuff is being put out there now, people are like, why aren't you saying this? And why aren't you saying that? And then you get the question of why are you saying this now? Why? My thing is, it doesn't matter why it's being said now. To me, the important part is that it is being said. So some light is being shed on the situation so people can realize that it's not as simple as they think. It's not just this, oh, well, the media did this and this. It's so much deeper than that. It's so much stuff going on, like, and believe it or not, it has nothing to do with bloggers. Nothing. Nobody got put here because of some bloggers. Nobody got put over here because of some, like, this stuff. It was in motion way before anybody decided to create a YouTube channel. People decided to go and create a channel, and that's cool. That's cool. But, child, go on somewhere. Congrats on the gorgeous new house, lady. Enjoying the commentary. Mocha Duchess, hey, how you doing, lady? You asked a great question about if people really want the truth. Unfortunately, I don't think most do. I agree with that. The truth always prevails. Think about it, people. You going around saying, okay, Daz. I don't know who's saying somebody got, I don't even want to know. But I could only imagine the people that are close to him, that are fighting for him, that are truly like distraught over what's happening. I can only imagine how they feel having their names dragged through the mud and people coming after them and having so much to say about them when they're basing stuff off things that are being said on blogs and not on factual information. And people come after folks hard. Mocha, you better say it. Oh, I wish can I pin that? Hold up. Dang, I can't pin that. Shoot. Mocha used the word integrity. I think I saw that word integrity up there. Yeah. Now, a lot of us define integrity as doing the right thing when no one's looking. Doing the right thing when no one's looking. What do you stand for? Do you stand for anything? Now, there have been a lot of things that have happened out here in these streets. There have been a lot of things that have been happening, like in real life, with stuff that's been going on. You got a lot of people coming out pretending to be other people. Oh, I don't know anything about a phone call. You got a lot of people coming out pretending to be other people. And I'm not saying, I mean like literally pretending to be other people, like a fake name, fake, like literally pretending to be other people. Right. So the thing, you have to decide what your truth is going to be. You have to decide that. And with so much stuff being thrown at people, on a daily basis, and everybody appears to have receipts, but the receipts are never really receipts. Mainly people can just tell you what somebody else said. At the end of the day, or at some point, we have to get to the point where, okay, I don't want to know what such and such said. Like, show me. You know what I mean? Show me. And that's where I'm at on things. So what I was going, just to go back to Shabazz for a minute. And I'm going to speak on that because I don't have no problem with Shabazz. So if you don't like it, oh well. We've seen his work. Have had some conversations with folks, and I won't get into all of that, but from what I know of him, and I've said this from day one, he's been stand up from the day I met him. And I haven't caught him in a lie yet. I be listening, not for him, but anybody, child. I be listening. I be listening. But I'm just saying, I haven't. And so some of the things that I have heard on this, and I just started listening to the podcast. But some of the stuff that I heard, I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, like 100%, it is true. it is so true. Oh my goodness. And like I said, with some of the interactions that, Lord have mercy. See that, what I learned from this set is folks are gullible, is more gullible than I ever read. Yeah, Mocha. Yeah. And that's what I was going to say. Either you're like, it's not okay to have your own mind out here. It's not okay to be okay with this part, but not necessarily agree with this part. You know what I'm saying? It's like, in this, I don't want to use the word sex. I'm going to say in this realm, in this realm that we're dealing with, it's like, they want you to be all or nothing. I've heard this. When it comes to this particular individual, you either 100% or you're nothing. You're not gonna tell me I gotta be 100% anything. Okay, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Like, I have to agree with everything that people say about this. No, I don't. I got to agree with everything this person does. No, I don't. Shoot, I don't agree with everything I do. I don't agree with everything I say. You know what I'm saying? So why? Because, I say I stand for something or I support something, I got to agree 100% with everything that's going on. No, I don't. And this particular realm, if you're not 100%, then you're not real. Okay? Bump real. Okay? Whatever the definition that these folks have of real, bump real. I do not have to agree with 100% of what anybody says or what anybody does. And that was one of the things that we ran into, one of the problems that it wasn't a problem for me, but it was a problem that people had with something that I said when I said something about people needing to make better decisions. I stand on that. People need to make better decisions, period, point blank, because ultimately at the end of the day, a lot of this stuff that has been going on, a lot of these things that have transpired and that continue to transpire are the result of poor decision making. Lil Mac, hey, how you doing? It's the result of poor decision making. It's the result of years of poor decision making and people not stepping up and saying something. People being yes men and yes women. And you know, when you got people around you, them old bobblehead people, yeah, sure. Whatever you say, yeah. Whatever you say, you're never wrong. Yeah, you're right. Whatever you say. Like when you got these bobblehead people around you that never tell you that you're in the wrong or never pull your coattails or never try to call you out on your mess, then you don't have a real circle around you anyway. I don't care how real people say they are. The real this and the real that. It doesn't matter how real people say they are if they cannot be honest with you. If they cannot tell you the truth. If they cannot call you out on your mess, then they are not real. I don't care what they tell you. They lying to you. They lying, Craig. They lying. They are lying to you if they cannot tell you when you're wrong. And you are not true friends if you will not allow them to call you out on something. You knew you were wrong when you did it. You knew that you were making a bad decision. You knew that. And when I say decisions, I'm not talking about anything that has to do with any cases or anything, just bad decisions. You know what I'm saying? They telling you, look, don't deal with this person. I got a bad vibe about this person. You don't need to fool with them. Don't deal with that female. Don't deal with dude over there. They said that, like, they're giving you this stuff and you make an executive decision and say, you know what? I'm going to do it anyway. I deal with the consequences later. Man, go ahead. Ain't nobody trying to hear all that. Y'all know we do it all the time. People do it all the time. And then you end up with bad decisions and bad consequences. They say consequences aren't bad. You got bad consequences as a result of your decision making. And people don't want to hear that. Yes, bad decisions have been made and bad decisions continue to be made. We've seen them. We continue to see them. Attorneys getting involved with bloggers. Those are bad decisions. See how that ripple effect keeps going? Bad decisions. People responding to certain things that are like outside of the scope of what they should be responding to. Bad decisions. Putting your trust in people that you've already had a bad run-in with. You've already had bad dealings with them. And you decide to give them the benefit of the doubt and take them in again. Now, this is something that he is guilty of. You decide to take these same people back in again when they already did you dirty once, twice, some even 3 times. And you still decide to let them back in and let them in your circle and trust these people. And these are the same people that came right on back to burn you. Bad decisions. Bad decisions. Another bad decision. Trying to handle real problems with the street mentality. You get to a point where you got some things, yeah, you handle them the street way. Other things, nah, the street can't handle this. No, we're going to have to handle this the legal way. We're going to have to go and do some research on this and handle this the way it's supposed to be handled. We can't trust the streets on this one. Everything ain't meant for the streets. Bad decisions. Putting our faith in people and believing everything that somebody comes on here and tells you. Somebody that's sitting in a chair just like I am, feeding you whatever, smiling, whatever they're doing to get you to believe what they're saying. But whatever they're doing, you believe in everything they say, and you hadn't done a lick of research, then had them lie to you a couple times. You done brushed it off and charged it to the game, or maybe they were having a bad day. They were having a bad day. Maybe they were just having a bad day. And you just brush that stuff off and you keep pushing, or you keep going back. You keep going to get fed that toxic food. Like, these are bad decisions. Bad decisions. Going and taking up for people that don't care two flips about you. Bad decisions. Bad decisions. Jumping in fights that have absolutely nothing to do with you. Bad decisions. God's property, what's going on? These are bad decisions. So we have to sit there and my thing is, when the stuff first got to a certain extent, when it got to a certain point, the main objective was humanizing. And again, the ones that have been following me, then you know exactly what I'm speaking on. That was the goal, humanizing. And along with that, we were trying to get people to see, like, if you keep looking at people as like a mythical character, a mythical figure, that it's hard for people to see them as human. If people can't envision you, if they can't see you as human, if they don't feel like you understand them, if they can't understand your struggles and the things that you went through, if they can't identify with you on any level, then you don't stand a chance. So in the process of trying to humanize people, folks had a problem with that. So the people, let me just read these comments for a minute, child, because woo. That's what I don't get, and why it's so hard to speak up when someone you like is wrong and you know they're wrong. What the heck? That's a cognitive. That you better say so. Shut your mouth and keep on talking. Cognitive dissonance, the perfect term to explain a lot of the behavior. Right? That's what I'm talking about. A real friend doesn't lie to you. That's why I stopped going to people platforms, because of that. So one thing I cannot say is a lot of people support anything around here simply to be in a clique. Just bizarre. You let them on your platform and you know they be lying. The same ones you've seen burn people 100 times, but they keep going back from it. Right. Hurts my nerves are aligning with someone that's lied on you simply because they're now beefing the same person you're beefing with. How this? Demetra, hey, how you doing? That's the one thing that I try to do with this platform. I've had people that have asked me to do like panels and stuff like that, and I'm very selective. I'm very selective about the people that I allow on my channel, because I've had a couple times where people, like, I left my stream up for people to join the stream. And, you know, somebody, it hasn't happened often, like maybe once or twice, but I want to be responsible for what's said on my channel, if that makes sense. So I don't want to bring a bunch of people on here, and I'm not knocking anybody else that bring people on their channels now, so don't think I'm doing that. But I don't want to bring a bunch of people on here and people are expecting me to substantiate what a person says, or like I gotta validate them, or like because they said it's like I said it. Oh, well, you let them say it on your channel, so you must believe it too. I'm not trying to be that person, and that's why I never brought a lot of people on my channel. The people that I brought on here, like I said, it was a select few that I actually brought on myself. Now, the people have come on the stream, but people that I brought on here myself, very select few. And when it came to certain things, like depending on what the situation was, I brought them on to give you some information because I knew that they would give you some true information. But even that, you still have to balance, like, how much truth do you actually want to put out there? Like, how much truth are people actually ready for? How much truth are they willing to receive? Because like I said, some people are ready for it and some people aren't. Like, they literally, they cannot handle They can't handle the truth, or they are used to being lied to. Sometimes some people do prefer the lie over the truth. I know, people say that, but some people do prefer the lie over the truth. I mean, if the lie makes them feel better, they rather hear the lie than have to deal with the realities of the truth. And that's with anything. That's with anything. You don't want to hear that you gain weight. So you okay with your, significant other saying, no, honey, you haven't gained weight, when you know that you done gained 20 pounds. So, I mean, in your mind, you know the truth, but you rather hear the lie over the truth because it makes you feel better. You know what I mean? So in this particular situation, I just wish that there was a real way to combine that entertainment piece with the truth, with factual information. Because even putting stuff out here where you may say it's alleged or whatever, that alleged word doesn't mean a darn thing. Because ultimately, if you're putting something out here about somebody that's not true, then you are defaming that person, period, point blank. I don't care how cute you try to dress it up. It doesn't matter how you go and try to put a little bow on it, little ribbon, little lipstick. You still are defaming somebody's character when you go and put something out there that you know is not true. So when you look at a situation, even though people say it's entertaining, this is for entertainment purposes only. For me, I'm looking, I'm like, okay, yeah, you laughing and stuff, but you just put something on somebody that you knew wasn't true. Or you just put something on somebody like, well, that's, you said, you put, well, this is my opinion. You putting that on the end, like that just makes it okay. That's like saying allegedly, well, this is my opinion. If it's not true, if you don't have anything to back up what you're saying, and I'm not talking about because blah, blah, blah said it. If you don't have anything to back up what you're actually saying, something to literally validate, confirm that what you're saying is true information, then you're no different than Tasha K. If you're doing this, I mean, you're no different than your old prayers that used to be walking around here. Because a lie is a lie. It don't matter what color it is. It doesn't matter what time of the day you tell it. It don't matter. Like, that's a noon lie. That's a morning lie. That's a midnight lie. It's just a lie. A lie is a lie is a lie. It's just a lie. So my thing is, number one, I hope that we get to the place where, and I know, people gonna say what they say. I'm telling you, I don't care. Ruby, hey, how you doing? How you doing? Got a dime up in here. I pray that we get to the point where you put your likes aside. See, usually people say put your dislikes aside. I'm saying put your likes aside. Put your likes aside. Because ultimately, you can love somebody and still call them out in a lie. Just because you like somebody, that does not mean that you have to accept a lie. Just because you rock with somebody, that does not mean that you have to go along with the lie. I've seen people out here that have allowed people to back them in a corner. And this is why I stay away from panels. But they have allowed people to back them in a corner. And let's say the host knew the person was lying. But because you brought this person on and you have vouched for this person, and now they said I've been told a lie, and because you're cool with this person, you don't want to go and admit that the person is lying. Because you invited them into your house. You know what I mean? For me, nah, you lying. You sure that's how that happened? You sure that's what they said? You sure? Not that you sure, but you sure? You sure that's what they said? I don't think that's what they said. You might have paraphrased that a little bit. I don't think that's what they said. Yeah, no, they ain't say that. You just told a little lie on that one, but we gonna keep on moving. Like that's The truth says the same, but a lie will change its. The truth stays the same, but a lie will change its colors, like a chameleon. What's funny is people putting you in this whole conspiracy when we've seen your character with our own eyes. Um, the conspiracy stuff, Mocha. That's what I tell people. They have to choose to believe whatever. You know what I'm saying? You got to go with your heart. You sitting up here going with these people on here, then they gonna lead you straight to hell. They gonna lead you straight to hell. And the thing, y'all, I'm sorry, child, but I told y'all that my hair been breaking off like bad. So I keep seeing like the little spaces in the back. So that's why I keep messing with it. Um, but like I said, the people that have been following at least this channel from the beginning, they know I have certain things that I stand on, period. That's not gonna change. It's not gonna change. Um, even if somebody comes after me, and I have to say something or I choose to say something, I say what I gotta say and I go about my business. I don't sit around trying to slander people. I don't sit around trying to degrade anybody. I don't sit around trying to scandalize anybody's name. I say what I say and I go about my business. And if you know what I'm saying, if I lied, then you feel like I lied on you, then call me out on whatever you said my lie was, and then we can have a conversation. But other than that, no, no. So any like extra stuff that somebody wants to put me in, I let them have that. It's just content. It's commentary. It's commentary. Um, Peace in the puzzle. Hold up, y'all. Put your lights aside and be honest with yourself. We are adults. Mocha, you cannot wake these people up to save your life. Be like, you show. Because I didn't hear that. I ain't hear that. They'll support anything for a group of you two looking good and looks like a new place. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, we're in a new place. You don't even have to explain that, right? I know the truth, and the ones that don't, it's because they refuse to acknowledge what they witness with their own. Okay, Nicole, hey, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Um, but yeah, it's been from the beginning. For those who may be new to this channel, I came into this back in what 2019, before the arrest and all that stuff. Um, and it's been interesting how just seeing how things have turned, how people have turned, um, seeing the shifts in personalities, um, hold up, Peter. Seeing the shift in personalities, and you see what I'm saying? It's like for those of you that have been around, you know what I'm talking about. You've seen people, you may have seen some people blossom, and you may have seen some people, it's almost like they turn into, it's almost like a Jekyll and Hyde type thing. Like you've seen, like with the popularity, a lot of negativity came along with it. You saw like a lot of people started off and they might have been mild mannered. Um, they came across, I would say, with a bit more humble at the beginning, and then as time went on, and the just with the negativity, and seeing how YouTube and the algorithms work. As a matter of fact, like people have adjusted their way to accommodate the audiences. And that negativity is the thing that gets people going. I mean, we've been seeing that for some years now. But at the end of the day, I'll say this. There's no need to beat a dead horse. There's no need to beat a dead horse. And one thing that is true, there are several channels that talk about specific topics. one person's topic does not have to be everybody's topic. And this is what I was saying. You don't have to be 100% this all the time. Like that does not, if this is the only thing that you can speak on, if you don't have anything else that you can bring to the table, and not if this is what your stuff is based on, then you know you name it that, and I mean you stay on that, but you don't knock. I would stay away from knocking other people that decide to step out and talk about other stuff, because this isn't life for everybody. And just because people don't talk about, you know, a situation or a topic the way that you want them to talk about it, that doesn't mean that they can't reach the masses by talking about another topic that is related to the topic that everybody else is concerned about. Does that make sense? Like sometimes you have to backdoor a situation rather than coming at it from the front, because you see that that's not working. So sometimes you have to backdoor a situation, so you can get people to see things from another angle, because everybody is looking straight. Everybody has tunnel vision. So sometimes you have to go and give people a different perspective. And when you're giving them that different perspective, you're not pinpointing saying, oh, look, this is what I'm doing. You do things in a way so that you can get a point across, and people don't even realize that that's what you're doing at that time, but it leaves them thinking. That's what allows people to have those moments of epiphany, that aha moment. Oh, dang, I ain't even think about that. That's what causes people to have those moments. So you have to appreciate whenever you have different people doing different things. So you have people putting stuff out there for entertainment purposes. That's their lane. You have people putting things out there for legal purposes. I don't know. That's their lane. You may have other people. My lane is I dabble, I waddle, I jump in, I splash in all things psychology. So the way I put something out is not going to be the way that John and Sean and Chris and Trey and Bob and whoever, it's not going to be the same way that people put things out. And I don't know what part of that people don't understand. Just looking at my name, that tells you I'm going to do stuff a little bit different. Because the goal is to try to get people out of this one-sided thinking. You have to look at things from all angles. You have to. And one of the things you have to realize is that, number one, and I'm just going to say nobody, I don't care what people tell you, nobody is 100% pure. Period. I don't care what nobody say. You might think you 100% pure. Ain't nobody 100% pure. We ain't gonna do that. We not gonna act like there's not a person that walks this earth that does not have a flaw. Those are facts. That's a big fact. That's a big old fact. That's a big old tank head fact right there. There's not a person that walks this earth that doesn't have a flaw. So to sit around and act like we have certain people that can do no wrong, that's a no-no. You're not being honest with yourself, and you're not being honest or helpful to whoever that person is. I mean, the word says, he who is without sin cast the first stone. I ain't seen no stones yet. I'm still waiting. Only stones I seen moving were the stones on the bottom of the little Flintstone car. I hadn't seen any thrones. I can't talk, y'all. Stones yet. So that's my thing. Just listen. And there was something else I thought about the other day too. Because the last time that I was on here, I had mentioned something about spiritual warfare. Again, for those of you that have been watching me from the beginning, you know that I did a series on spiritual warfare. And there was a reason for that. Number one was because of the conversation that I told y'all about. The other thing was, people talk about if you're a true fan, then you know this. I got a counter for that. Because I feel like if you're a true anything, then you would realize that other than these little sexual songs, that there were a lot of other songs that address spirituality and different spiritual battles that the same person wrote and produced. You got this same one, and he actually mentions these exact things. So we tend to overlook some of the stuff that gets put out there and just focus on this part and act like this stuff really doesn't exist. But people tend to tell, we're not the only storytellers on here. People tend to tell stories in a certain way. And how many times have I played that song Listen on this channel? Who wrote that song? Listen to the words of the song. That's what I listen to the words of the devilish song. Listen to the words of the song. I'm not telling you something that was just made up. I actually listened to the song several times. And it was actually the backdrop. It was part of the reason why I decided to do the darn thing on spiritual warfare. But people get so caught up in the foolishness and wanting to be like, I got to prove this wrong and I got to prove that. Like, you got to. It's like, you smart, but you're not as smart as you think you are because you're so busy trying to knock other stuff that you're not realizing that what you're saying is you countering what the person that you actually fighting for said. Those weren't my words. Those were his words. So you countering what he said. He wrote that. I didn't. So if it's a bunch of bull, then it must have been a bunch of bull when he wrote it. So that's what I'm saying. If it's a lie and it's a bunch of bull, then obviously everybody don't agree 100%, right? See, because the real folks supposed to be 100, supposed to agree with everything 100%. So if you don't agree with the words of that song, and that means that you don't agree 100%, right? Because he wrote it. I mean, he just pulled those thoughts out of the sky. He was going through something. And it's not the only one. Like, there are a lot of songs that have spiritual meaning and add like spiritual value. It's not even about religious. It adds some spiritual value and some things get touched on. And people tend to overlook that part. We can go on, we can recite everything that got to deal with a bump and grind and honey love and I like to crotch on you. So we can recite all that stuff. But when it comes to that stuff that's touching on that spirituality, we overlook that. We forget about that 100% on that part. I'm just saying. I'm just. that we forget. We just gonna leave that out. We're gonna leave that out. I mean, just if you're being real about the whole situation, listen to the word. I'm not gonna play the songs. I don't play it too many times, and every time you two hit me over the head. But listen to the words of the song, just that song, and then you can go back and listen to some of the other songs. So I say that because some people get offended when you say pray. Or when you say, what are you doing? I'm praying. Dad, like you ain't doing nothing if you praying. Shoot, you one of the biggest warriors he got out here, or that anybody has. If you got somebody praying for you, somebody that know God, I'll take that over a poster any day. Pray for me. Pray for me. Y'all got me. They got that song. Somebody prayed for me. Had me on their mind. Took the time and prayed for me. I'm so glad they prayed. I'm so glad they prayed. I'm so glad they prayed for me. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Child. I've seen him perform that live. When did he refuse to perform it live? Are you talking about lately? I've seen him perform it live. And the thing, I don't know why that would be a problem, because at some point he was like a spiritual advisor for him. So I don't know why he would have an issue um with that, particularly with people. It's just like me being a counselor. Other people may not want to touch a situation, or they won't work with a certain person because of whatever, but when you have a certain calling, then it's not good for you to like shy away. Oh, lately to shy away um from certain people, because that's what you're here for. That's exactly what you're here for such a time as this. So um I don't know why. I don't know why. And maybe he had some other reasons. Cause and a lot of times too, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt too, because I don't know specific. I'm just talking behind what you said. So a lot of times it goes back to just the overall. It's just like on here. It's certain things that I'm not going to talk about. It's certain things I know that if I talk about, it's going to spark this whole controversy, so I choose to leave it alone. That may be one of those situations with him performing that song, that you got certain people that if he started singing the song, it's going to be, oh, well, you know who wrote that song, and that's his song, and da 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 da. And then you got this big mess. And a lot of it is probably, not saying it's right, but a lot of it is probably to just avoid confusion. Um, because people, we've seen it on here. People are a mess. People are a mess, and that's just what it is. Um, Everybody feel like they know what you're supposed to do. They can do it better than you. You need to do this. You need to do that, but they're not willing to do it. Um, but I think that at the end of the day, I don't see him turning his back on him, and I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, I stand to be corrected. But I don't see him turning his back on him like that. Because the allegations and stuff like that have been out for years. It's not like something that just came out. I mean, having to deal with the legal aspect of it, that's and that's not even new, because you think about years back whenever you had to deal with the stuff before. So I think it's more so from backlash from people, because we don't know how to act sometimes. We don't know how to act. Um That's what y'all call, so you don't pick and choose who you want to have people in your presence for. Right, Tracy. Right. And see, that's the thing too. Like when this stuff first started, and like the jail part came in, I had people on both sides in my ear. So in one side you got you're supposed to be for women. So how could you support something like that? On the other side, no, you're supposed to be for this person, and you got to be 100%. And this is the distinction that I make to people. Number one is I work with everybody. I work with the worst of the worst and some of the best of the best. Like, I don't, it's not for everybody to understand. That's the first thing. Number two, just because I support one thing that somebody does, again, that doesn't mean that I support everything that they do. Just like somebody may support one thing that I do, but they may not agree with something that I say over here. That's fine. That's fine. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to go and miss out on what I'm supposed to be doing because of somebody else's opinion. Yeah, Trey, you remember that? You remember? Supposed to be going to somebody on me? Yeah, that didn't happen. That didn't happen. Because even in a sorority, nobody dictates. We have our own stuff, but outside of that, nobody dictates your thinking. Nobody tells you what you can and can't do, what you can and cannot support. That's not how this works. So my thing is, if I have to go out and I gotta go and work with somebody that was a real terrorist, not what people be talking about, but a terrorist. And I gotta go and work with this person that might have been, that went and blew up some stuff, and I got to go and work with this person that may have kidnapped me, who, you know what I mean? Who decides which crime is the worst? You know what I'm saying? Oh, okay, now for this crime, you can't touch this. You got to hate these people. For this crime, you got to feel this way. And this is where I bump heads with some folks that I consider myself to be kind of close to as well, because they felt a certain way about different communities, and I didn't feel that way. They wanted me to feel a certain way about particular groups, and that's not the way that I feel. Because for me, if I'm going to go against this group of people that I don't know, that haven't done anything against me, that haven't done anything to me personally, then I'm just as bad as the people that did it to us. I'm just as bad as the people that did it to us. So if I'm going to go and I'm hating against this group for no reason, I personally don't have anything against that group, and whatever they have going on has absolutely no bearings on my life, then I'm no different than the folks riding around on horses with hoods on, right? That's the way that I felt about stuff. And again, a lot of times you get into the situation where it's it's you got to think this way 100% or nothing. And I just won't let anybody back me into that corner, because at the end of the day, I feel like everybody is entitled to justice. Everybody is entitled to equal rights. Now, is that the way that things happen? Carib, hey, how you doing? Is that the way that things happen? Not all the time. But I'm not going to be a part of that problem. I'll definitely be part of the solution, but I am not going to be a part of that problem. You're not going to have anybody saying that Doc participated in discriminating against somebody or a group of somebody. You're not going to have anybody saying that Doc played a part in showing any type of anti-anything against any particular, that's not going to happen. And in this realm, that's what people want you to do. Whatever they have going on and whatever the other folks are doing, they expect you to do it too. And if you don't do it, they're going to come on your page, like the person was coming on here earlier trying to get some stuff started. They're going to come on your page and try to get some stuff started, try to stir stuff up. And then they're going to go and they're going to take some lies back. And you're going to have the few that's sitting here for the sole purpose of taking something back. They just waiting on you to say something. What you say? They waiting on you to say something that they can carry back or go and post something on. And that's just the way that stuff goes. And my people, because it is us. We're the ones that are being used. It's us. We are being used by us. It's not anybody else. It's not him. It's not them. It's not the man. It's not the people. It's us. We are doing it. We're doing it to each other. Period. Point blank. He said one good thing about kill that one time John Andrew. He said he had no heaven or hell to put him in. Let God be the judge of his life, because Tom was looking for him to talk bad about Kill. He shouldn't talk, and that's what I'm saying. Again, hey Kim, let he who is without sin cast the first stone. If anybody, and that's why I never got into the mess, because y'all know people would be like, oh, you need to stop listening to them because they did this to somebody, and you better not watch them because, or they just coming up with all this stuff. And I'm like, wait a minute, weren't you sitting up here talking about this person doing this, but y'all overlooking the fact that they did this? You know what I'm saying? It's if I'm listening to a conversation about, oh, well, don't this person right here, I'm trying to think of something. You had a thing with somebody talking about a blogger, running over somebody, and it was an accident. And then you got somebody over here, if you're talking about shooting up people and your act is intentional. So if you got an unintentional act and you're talking about an intentional act of you going shooting up people, where is the balance in that? And how come nobody is saying anything So it's okay for somebody to accidentally do this. It's not okay for somebody to accidentally do this. Like, we're supposed to just write them off. But you can go and say that you're going to shoot up a whole, like, whatever, and that's okay. And nobody says anything. Huh? We're going to talk about this person robbing this, and then you are bragging about something that you stole over here, and we don't see nothing wrong with that picture. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like we sit up here, and again, because we like people, we accept some of the tomfoolery. And that's it. I'm like, what? Where they do that at? Like, I'm like, yeah. I'm just, ugh. Oh my gosh. On YouTube, we do it to each other. We do it to each other. We see it every single day. Every single day. Now, what's my time? Oh, I done went over my time. One of the things that I had put on my community wall, and I'm going to address this really quick. I posted, I shared one of the videos from As Is, and it was from The Spot. And that was when they were doing, I call it the think tank. That's what we call it. They were doing a think tank, and it was a room full of men. It was a room full of men just talking about different things going on in the community and how they can affect change with the young people in the community and all this stuff and how people can do different things. Now, and one of the things that I saw in the comments from it, some people were like, yeah, that's good. Other people were talking about, oh, they don't need to be talking over each other and da da da. Okay, if you have ever been involved in anything similar to a think tank, then you know that this is how conversations take place. But at the end, if you are not willing to pull a seat up to the table, then I feel like you have no room to be dismissive or to complain about the people that are bringing a seat to the table. Because ultimately, if you're not a part of the solution, then you're part of the problem. So we have a lot of people wanting to go, and thank you, Basic Mom. We got a lot of people wanting to go out and do things. And ultimately, you can walk, you can do all these things. But until people are ready to come and sit down and have some grown folk conversation, then a lot of this stuff is not going to change. As a matter of fact, nothing's going to change. If we can't sit down and have grown conversation, and understand this. If somebody sees you acting a fool on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then you want to go and have this intelligent or this just profound discussion about things that you want to do to change the community and be more positive, nobody's taking you seriously because they see that you're not walking what you talk. Y'all got me? If I ain't making sense, let me know. But when people see you doing all this is what shuns this is what stops a lot of people from wanting to go to church, even though you understand the church is just a building. But this is what has a lot of people like turning away from certain things because they see people walking a certain way at a particular time and then get in front of an audience. They get in front of a group of people and then they want to go and they turn that chameleon light on. That chameleon hat comes on and now you're a completely different person, putting some stuff out here when it's not what you have been preaching all these other days. If you really want to affect change, then you have to be able to sit down at the table. There doesn't necessarily have to be a real table there, okay? Figuratively speaking, you have to be willing to pull a seat up to the table and have some conversations. Do know that 1, 2, or 3 meetings is not going to be the cure-all for all things that are going wrong in this world or in this country, but it is a start. So for people to sit around and say, oh, well, what did they do next? What did you do? What have you done? Period. Other than run your devilish mouth and complain about what somebody else is doing. What have you done? So you want to have conversations, you want to make moves with things that are going on, then you learn the laws. You learn about which laws were actually violated. Not what some YouTube blogger told you, not what you heard on, saw on media takeout or TMZ. You go and learn the devilish laws. And if you don't know them, then you surround yourself not just by people that are just as smart as you, but surround yourself by people that are smarter than you, or that you feel that are smarter than you, that may have access to that information. Because where you may lack in a certain category, they may have the strength in that area. So you pull those people together and you listen to what everybody brings to the table, because everybody brings something to the table. No matter how big, no matter how small, even if it's their life experiences, everybody has something they can bring to the table. But to sit around like you a spectator at a basketball game or a football game or a baseball game, and you the commentator for the game, you ain't doing nothing but entertaining folks. If you are not a part of the discussion, you talking loud and ain't saying nothing. I said that. I said that. So at the end of the day, that's my message. Coming back to y'all after being off the grid, trying to get this house stuff straight. I'm going back off the grid because I still got some stuff to unload. I'm still unpacking. But we have to figure out how to get past all of the foolishness. Because I am tired of the foolishness. And this is not something that I would ever associate, ever. Let me be clear on that, ever associate myself with. All this foolishness, absolutely not. And y'all can talk about me later if you want. You're probably talking about me right now, it don't matter. But this is not anything that I would ever associate myself with. Just this foolishness and carrying on, I would not. So there's no need for me to start now. I'm just saying. It is what it is. So just find a way. If there are some grown folks, grown folks. Y'all know what I'm talking about. We ain't talking about just grown in age, but some grown folks that are willing to come together. If you're saying, people talk about due process. I am all for due process. I've said that from day one. If you're for due process, put it on the table. But know what it is. Know what you're talking about. If you're saying that somebody was done wrong, put it on the table. Put it on the table. Period. Not what your opinions are, not what you think. If you're saying that somebody is doing somebody else wrong, then you need to say exactly how they're doing it. And then you got to pull up some laws. You got to pull up some statutes that says that this is wrong and how it's wrong. You got to be able to back up what you're saying. Those are receipts. Shars, hey, how you doing? That's what you call a receipt. It's not pulling up an article from Wikipedia. Well, on Wikipedia, they said blah, 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 blah. Ain't nobody trying to hear that. No. Go and do the research. How y'all think these guys that are on the inside, these people be getting they get their own selves out. They get on that computer and they be pulling up those laws and those statutes. I mean, some of them masters, they can be lawyers now. You got to go and do the same thing. But you have to put the BS to the side. You got to put the BS to the side. And understand this. You can have a meeting of the minds. You can have a think tank. You can come together and have a group and not pay anything. You ain't got to pay for no travel, like riding around. So, I mean, you pay to get wherever you're going to go. But, I mean, even in this type of climate, stuff can be done on Zoom. If you have Microsoft Outlook, stuff can be done on Teams. You can have hundreds of people on Team at the same darn time. Everybody just sitting up there chilling. And you can have a meeting without it costing anybody anything. It doesn't have to cost people an arm and a leg. People don't have to travel to different states and stuff like that. You can start small, have a small meeting about things that can be done. Hey, Crystal Sheik, how you doing? A small meeting about things that can be done. Start there. It doesn't take but a few. 3, 4, 5. You don't have to have a big meeting. Just a few that come with common goals, common ideologies. This is what we're looking at. This is what we're focused on. This is what we want to do. This is the point that we want to get across to the public. This is the point that we want shared. These are the things. This is how we want to affect change. This is what we want people to do. This is what we want people to hear. Because right now, they're just hearing a bunch of back and forth, yada, 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 just a bunch of mess. A bunch of mess. So that's my truth. Some people may like it, some people may not. That's my truth. There it is. So, hope you guys got something out of this live. As far as the house stuff, for those that are interested in the house videos that I was doing, I am gonna come back and do like a follow-up. But let me tell y'all this real quick. Another story. Listen, I was so embarrassed. I literally had 2 truckloads. I had 2 26-feet truck loads of stuff, and I was embarrassed. Okay, so in the process of me trying to go and unpack, I've been trying to get rid of stuff too. So I have been to the Mission, I think like 12 times, and I've been to Goodwill, like just taking stuff to Goodwill. And it just reminded me of something that I would tell my clients when they talk about change and doing stuff different. It wasn't like I was on the point of hoarding, but I did realize that as we change, like I like to change furniture out, I change out decor or whatever. As you change, as you bring something new in, you got to take something out. You see what I'm saying? If you're going to bring positive thoughts in, if you want positivity to come in, you got to replace that positivity with some of the negative stuff. So you got to kick some of that negative out in order to bring some of that positive in. That's right. Out with the old, in with the new. You got it. There got to be a swap. It needs to be a fair swap. And what was happening for me, I hope y'all get this message. What was happening to me is after going through like the stuff that I was going through, like even with me moving to Georgia, I didn't take the time to like go through and purge. And I really should have purged before I got here, because what I ended up doing was bringing baggage from South Carolina to GA. Hey! I brought baggage from South Carolina to GA. And what I realized in the midst of all this is that I had to unload. I had to purge. I had to get rid of some of that baggage, and able for me to move forward, I had to get rid of some of that baggage. So I was already starting to get rid of stuff slowly, but I still didn't do it quick enough. So I end up with these truckloads of stuff, but that was a wake-up call for me, because the fact that it embarrassed me. See, if I would have went ahead and did what I was being told to do and followed the orders that I had been given, then I wouldn't have had 2 trucks. I could have went ahead and went about my business, but because I was holding on to stuff and not following the orders that I was given, then I was left feeling embarrassed. And that would be the equivalent of like hitting rock bottom. Like, okay, you got to hit this in order for you to do whatever you need to do. And that was like a rock bottom for me, just being completely embarrassed from one house to the other house. I felt like all the neighbors were just sitting there with their little cup talking about, what else they gonna stick in that truck? Like, I just felt like everybody was watching. It was all in my mind. They won't pay me no attention. But in my mind, everybody was sitting there watching, talking about, she's a hoarder. Like, that's just how I felt. That's how I felt. So, just in this fight, in everything that everybody's trying to do, if you want to do something different, do something different. You want to change something, you got to change something. I know that sounds redundant, right? But I mean, it's that simple. You want to change something, you got to change something. So this is for me. Instead of going around and beating a dead horse, that's why I will not talk about this topic on my channel all the time, every day, 24/7, 365. 7 days. I'm not doing that because it gets to a certain point where you're beating a dead horse. Unless you have something new to bring to the table. And again, not knocking anybody else. This is just for me and this channel. Hey, Brenda, how you doing? For me and this channel. I don't want to beat a dead horse. So even when I have topics that I tell you that I'm going to come back and speak about, I may not come back for another week, a month, 2 months and talk about that topic because I don't want to beat a dead horse. That horse done been beat so many times, I mean, they ain't got nothing in them. You see what I'm saying? So that's what we have going on here. So hopefully you guys got something out of this live today. I'm glad to be back and drop back in, like I said, but I got to go back and finish doing what I'm doing, because if I showed y'all my current situation, you know what? Before I get off here, I'll show y'all my current situation. So y'all will see. First of all, I know I don't have to say don't judge me because some of y'all judging already, but don't judge me. Okay. Let me see, can I turn this around? So, see this stuff? This is my outside stuff. I had to bring in because in Atlanta, we had like some kind of 200 mile per hour wind going on this weekend. So, okay, we don't have any clutter in there. Hold on. So you see, I still got pictures that need to go up, and curtains and decorations to go on the table, and all that good stuff. Again, pictures that have to go up on the walls. Okay, y'all gonna talk about me. If you talk about me, I'm gonna leave a long post about you, but I'm gonna go ahead and show y'all. Okay, so these are the boxes that are already broken down. These are the boxes that are already broken down. And you see, I still got more pictures. And these are my picture hanging things down here. So y'all see, oh Lord, I'm working. And see, all this stuff just got to be put up somewhere just for me to get it out the way. But this is literally coat closet. Okay. I'm going to just do this swoop real quick, because this is like, so this is my office. And as you can see, it has a lot going on. So, yeah, I'm just going to get out of here because mind your business. Mind your business. Mind your business. Mind your business. Still putting stuff up in here. Like I said, I got a lot of stuff. Still working in this room. I can tell you guys this dresser was one that I refurbished. This was a dresser that was that was a bed in a box that I got from Walmart like back in 2004, 2003, might have been 2002. So this dresser and this nightstand, they were like the bed in the boxes that I had from years ago. So I refurbished those, painted them, put new hardware and stuff on them, as well as this little cube thing. And then I swapped the mirror out on the dresser and got one that was detached. So again, I had to make it so that I could at least walk through. So still got a lot of packing, unpacking, and all. Y'all see my panther head up there? Y'all see that? Okay. Still got a lot of packing and unpacking to do. Okay, listen to this. So when the people were moving, first of all, I don't know if you guys remember last year I was complaining about my washing machine and them having the water leaking through the ceiling. So I went ahead, I got another washing machine and didn't get another dryer. So they are mixed match, which I already hated. So you see that? I got a black one and I got this one in Merlot that they no longer make, so I couldn't get another one. So the movers Y'all see that? Cracked up my dryer, which gave me an excuse to get another dryer. I just look for an excuse. Okay, this is the secondary bathroom. This one is pretty much done. I gotta put I'm gonna put a hand toweled rack right here, but this one is pretty much is done. All right. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. I ain't gonna even show. I'm gonna do a quick sweep, child. I'm gonna do a quick sweep. Look at all this stuff. Look at all this stuff. Okay. So I'm working on my closet. So this is Lord have mercy. So this is what we have in here. So I got to get some more racks for the shoes. This is what I was showing you guys about the racks up top. They're so high I can't put containers up there. So I just have to put my little bins or whatever. Let me back up. So that's the closet. I'm still working on that. Back up this way. But you can see it's a hot mess. Y'all see all that down there? It's a hot mess. So I ain't gonna even act like it's together. Got the belts on the floor. I'm waiting on my belt rack to come in. I have one over there in the corner, but I'm waiting on another one to come in. So I just put them down on the floor. Bench is covered up with clothes. So more clothes right here that got to be put up. More stuff right here that has to be put up. I'm telling y'all, more stuff that got to be put up. I ain't gonna show that. My bathroom, as you guys can see, my shower door is off. I have this little makeshift curtain up here now because I am still waiting on my shower door. So this is a little makeshift thingy thing that's in here. And also the knobs in here. The hardware in here, I changed these out. Towel back. So no toilet tissue racks or towel racks came in the house. So I gotta put all that stuff. I gotta put all that stuff in there. So yeah. Sorry about that. Okay, so yeah. My girls right here, they are gonna be going up on this wall up here. These are going in my bedroom. But yeah, so that's what we have going on. So I just had to come and sit down because my phone died, needs to be charged. So that's what I have going on. You guys don't judge the junk. Yeah, man. So this is why I have been gone for a while, and I'll be gone for another little while. So yeah, just look back that way, y'all. Just I am so embarrassed. So I'll finish this up, but I wanted to drop in because I hadn't been on in a while. And I decided to post a picture today on social media. So I said, since I posted a picture on social media, then I just come on my live for a little minute since I was taking a little break, because this is like a job all by itself. And my brother, my mom, my little friend, like they've been helping me out. But y'all, it's a job. That's all I can say. It's a job. Like for real, for real. So yesterday I was able to get the 2 guest bedrooms pretty much situated and got the boxes and stuff out the way in there yesterday. And then the office, I started clearing that out yesterday. But I got so much equipment for my print business, and I got to get that stuff like up and going because I've been straight slacking since I've been here. So I got a part of that done. Yes. Oh shoot, I need to get those boxes out. The trash man runs tomorrow. So I need to get that part out the way. And then I think this weekend, my little friend is gonna help me put up my we're supposed to get all the pictures and stuff up on the walls, and I guess like whatever I didn't get done. Last weekend, my brother, my little friend, I have to say my friend. My brother, my little friend, they cleared out the garage. So I use my garage. I know a lot of people don't actually use their garages. They don't park the car in the garages. But I park my cars in the garage. So they told me basically, I'm gonna tell you this is they were like, look, first my friend said, look, you got to get rid of some of this stuff. I don't know if you're holding on to memories or what, but we're going to get rid of some of this stuff. I got it. Don't even worry about it. He said, I got it. So anyway, needless to say, all the extra bowls, all the extra stuff that I had, y'all know we keep bowls and stuff like that to like take food in and stuff like that. Yeah, it's all gone. Hey Kimmy, it's all gone. They threw my stuff away. 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 So I couldn't use it. They threw my stuff away. Yeah, they threw my stuff away. I looked out the window and my brother got a truck and my friend got a truck and they just got, y'all, it was like loaded. But when I tell you that garage was clean, hold on, let me show. Hold up, nah, I don't have enough battery left on my phone. When I tell y'all that garage is clean, and then my brother, he backed my truck in and my friend backed my car in, I was like, oh shoot, that thing is clean, but they threw my bowls away. That's a darn shame. They threw my bowls away. He threw my bowls away. All my hefty bowls. Hefty out. Yeah, he threw them away. I did have one box with some bowls in it I had got like around Christmas time. He didn't see those, so I got a box. I got a box of those, but my other bowls, yeah, they threw my bowls away. So yeah. But it was all part of the purge. You got to get rid of some of the other stuff, and Kim, I don't have a basement. I have an attic. I don't have a basement though. I would have had to wait a little longer to get a house with a basement. I was trying to go ahead and move, child. But most of the houses that are around me, like they have basements. But yeah, it's just little old me with my little attic up there, girl. Just got my little attic. But I like it though. I like it. I do like it. I like it more once I get this stuff unpacked. So, I will, like I said, I will go back and do the video of the house because I have had people asking about that. I'm gonna probably come back and talk to you guys about this situation that's going on with my head and my little health issues while they trying to figure out what's going on, because I had some issues going on, and we thought like we had everything like figured out, but we don't. So hopefully I had some good news on that. Like I said, I went to the endocrinologist today and we're trying something different. So we're going to see what works with that. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope you guys got some. I don't even want to put my camera up, child. You see that stuff in the background? Hold on. Let me see if I can maneuver this thing. Hold up. Let me do it this way. Dawg, they ain't no better. Hold on. Anyway, y'all, I'm gonna do it like that right now. You know what? I had the same problem. Your hair coming out. Child, hold on. Let me just move this. Let's have this discussion real quick. So, I keep saying I'm gonna get off here. See what happens when you stay gone for a long time? You want to go and tell all the stories and stuff when you're supposed to be gone. So, let me plug in real quick. Because this might help some of the women. Hold on, y'all. Let me get plugged in. Hold up. Did it plug in? I think I'm plugged in. I don't even know. Okay. Okay, that's not good. I'm struggling. I think it's plugged in. I don't know. So, cord out in the way. Okay. So, about 3 weeks ago, well, before that, I had started going to this lady that was supposed to be like this, supposed to have like these healing hands for your head or whatever. And I don't know if I told you guys, when I was younger, I had psoriasis and seborrhea. And so when I was younger, all my hair, like I had hair initially, and then when I had this psoriasis and this seborrheic dermatitis is what they call it now, but I had it in my scalp, so I had hair around my crown, but the hair came out, all the middle, like all of that was like sores and stuff from psoriasis, so I ended up pretty much being bald in the middle. So that's why I try to take care of my hair now. Anyway, so that's what happened. So by the time I got to high school, it hadn't cleared up. They done prayed over it, laid hands on it, sulfur and everything else. And so I didn't have any more problems out of it. And I think last year sometimes my hair started shedding just a little bit. And that's when I started doing the crochets and stuff, just to try to, so it wouldn't be shedding so much. Me having it out and it shedding a lot more just from being out, me having to comb it and brushing and doing all that stuff. So that's when I started doing the crochets. So after I had that Rona, it seemed like, well, not seemed like, it threw stuff out of whack. Because I have autoimmune disease, I have Hashimoto's thyroid disease, which is autoimmune disease. So it worked a number basically on my body. And you guys had saw I had lost all that weight and all that stuff. And I'm gaining that back. Woo, yes, Lord, I'm gaining that back. But what I noticed was, and I don't know if it's a result of that, because we never really got my stuff back on track the way it was supposed to be. But like the last 3-4 weeks, I was getting my hair done. I'm going to this lady, and the first 2-3 months, like everything was good. Like that's when you guys saw I had got my hair cut. I had her cut it all the way up, basically to a bob. Got a split ends cut, like everything. Like I let her cut it up and do her thing, and it was doing pretty good. And then about 3 or 4 weeks ago, my scalp started getting real dry. I mean, it was like extra dry, like flaking up like bad. And I never, like my scalp had never been like that. And it got to the point where I don't put like grease and heat and stuff on my hair. So that wasn't the problem. It wasn't that I was putting stuff in my hair, but it's like my hair had got brittle, and it was just popping off. I mean, just popping off. It wasn't, it started coming out on the sides. It started coming out a little in the middle, like the other side too. And it was popping off. It was popping off by the strands, like just the whole strand popping off. I got it combed down, but you can see like little strands at the top. So we were trying to figure out what was going on. Still don't know what was going on, but what I did was I went back to what I know. And I went back and I went to Walmart. Call me right now. I got the sulfur 8 oil for my hair. So I went back to the old school, because when I did have psoriasis, that's what my mom used to use on my hair, the shampoo and the grease on my hair. And that's what helped with my hair when I had psoriasis on my scalp. So I started using that, and it helped a little bit, but it seemed like if I wash my hair myself and then I put it and it dissolves the flaking or whatever, stops the itching. Because like I said, it came from out of nowhere. Like I woke up one night, my scalp was itching so bad, and I'm like, what the flip? Like it was like a burning itch. So I started using the sulfur 8, and that toned it down a little bit. And then I went back to my beautician. I was talking to her, and we were talking about the stuff that she was using on my head and stuff, because we were trying to figure out like what the culprit could be from my hair breaking off to my scalp being so dry all of a sudden, and my scalp hadn't looked like that since I had been in like the 7th or the 8th grade. So she did like a lot of treatments. I got 2 steam treatments done to my head. She did a protein treatment. I had a keratin treatment. Like, we did all kind of stuff. And I go every 2 weeks. So we did that, and then went back. She washed it real good. Like, she thought she did something. And that was on a Friday. I used to get my hair done on Friday. So by that Wednesday, that Tuesday, by that Wednesday, I was at the point where I needed to wash my head again. I had big flakes all in my head. So I got to go back and I got to wash my hair again. So this time I put the sulfur 8 on it before I washed it. Then I washed and I put the sulfur 8 on it after I washed it. And when I did that, this time it came out pretty good. And of course, like right after I wash it, I do the blow dryer, and then I go ahead and do like a little silk wrap myself. And I mean, it stood up, and I went back to her. Well, I was supposed to go back Friday. And I didn't go back Friday because I wasn't feeling. I'm like, I'm not going up here for her to wash my head, and I got to go back, and 3 days later I'm gonna be washing it again. And so she called me. She called me, and she was like, "Hey, you missed your appointment." Da, da, da. So anyway, I ended up going up there Friday evening. And y'all, she washed my hair, and she thought she did something. I mean, I'm saying this behind her. She was like, "Girl, I thought I did something." She washed my hair. No, she washed my head about 4 times. Did 2 steam treatments that day. I think I got a protein treatment. I got some kind of treatment that day, some deep conditioning. Y'all, by the time I left, I got in her chair. She was getting ready. She started blow drying my hair. I blow dried it almost through. And she was like, "You know what? I can't do this." And she stopped. She stopped. She was like, "I need time to like think about, what I'm going to do." And she was like, "I'm so sorry." And she was like scratching like my scalp. So, stuff still on my scalp after she washed it all those times. And so she asked me if I'd be willing to come back the next day. She said she wanted to take some time and like think about like what she was seeing, and kind of go back to the old school, like some of the remedies that they used to do back in the day. And she asked me if I would come back the next day. She asked me if I would come back Saturday morning. So I went back Saturday morning at 9:30. I didn't leave her. I got there at 5 on Friday. I didn't leave there until 8:30. So I was already 3.5 hours in and did not get a hairstyle. She just put my hair in a ponytail and told me to come back that next morning, and didn't charge me anything that day. So I went back, and she had her other girl that works in there with her. And they hadn't came up with a treatment regimen. They had a whole game plan, child. They were ready. You hear me? They were ready. So I got there, and they told me they were going to do like all these different things. So I got she washed it, but she went back to her old shampoo. She bought some shampoo that she had from home. Ain't nothing like them old shampoos, medicated shampoo. So she had her wash with the medicated shampoo. And then it was something, y'all, they used so much stuff on my head, I didn't know what was going on. And then they did a cellophane. They did some kind of cellophane treatment, and some type of gloss. And I mean, it was all kind of stuff. And I got back under the steamer again. But child, let me tell you something. When I came out this time, didn't have a flake in sight. Did not have a flake in sight. So we basically now, if this goes the way that we're hoping it goes, and I go back in, not this Friday coming, but next Friday, if it goes the way that we're hoping it goes, then maybe we found something. Still don't know what caused the reaction, because whenever your scalp gets that dry like that, just like sporadically, then it's reacting to something. But we don't know exactly what it's reacting to, whether it's my thyroid, or what it is. But yeah, so this was Saturday, so it's Sunday, Monday. We're on day 2, and I haven't had any breakage. It hasn't been breaking off, but and you don't see any flakes flying, but it's broken off a lot. So we got to try to get that back, and then try to keep what's here healthy. So I got another cut Saturday, And we probably going to keep doing that until we figure out what the culprit is. So that's what's going on with his head. So women, let me tell you something. When I was in South Carolina, I could go and I got my hair done every other week. And at the most, even with me getting a relaxer and a style, that was $65. Let me tell you something. I left that hairdresser the other day. I had not paid $165. Now that I am not used to. That I'm not used to. But if she can figure out what's going on with my head, and try to work something out, and not just that, I'm praying on it too, Lord. I'm asking for healing from head to toe. That's what I'm saying. This prayer thing works, child. Don't let nobody fool you. This prayer thing works. So I'm praying for a complete healing and restoration on this head of mine, and we're going to see what happens with that. So I keep you guys updated on that. That may have been TMI, but definitely a conversation I think that we need to have, especially with us ladies up in here. You know, we have stuff happening as we get on up in age. Everybody can be a spring chicken like me. Anyway, y'all, I have been on here way over my time. I appreciate you all hanging out with me. Hope you guys enjoyed the quick tour. Yeah, and we've looked into that too. That's why. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you for saying that. That's why I went to my endocrinologist today. To talk to him about what was going on and to see if we need to do something different. So what he did do is he increased my thyroid dosage. So we're gonna see what happens with that, and then I have to go back for some more lab testing in 6 weeks to see if the medicine is helping. But I think it has. If not the medicine itself, then my thyroid, because my skin has gotten dry too. It's not just on my scalp, but the scalp is more noticeable because I have to comb it and mess with it and stuff like that. And you sitting there, you got a big old flake on your shoulder. I mean, like a whole piece of lettuce on your shoulder. I mean, that's a problem. You got issues. So, yeah. So, ladies, take heed. Men too, but ladies, take heed. Do what you gotta do to try to get that head right. Cause y'all know if our head ain't right, if we don't feel like our head look right, then our whole day is jacked up. We just feel like we just busted. So, yeah, I'll keep you guys posted on that. So, again, thank you guys for tuning in to the live. Shout out to the certified dimes that dropped in tonight. Thank you for tuning in, all of these subscribers and the non-subscribers. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel today. If you want somebody telling you the truth, whether you like it or not, subscribe to the channel today. Subscribe to the channel today. But other than that, if you haven't liked the video, please make sure you like the video, share, and leave your comments below, people. I love reading your comments. Unless you come in with some buffale, and then I'm going to delete your comment. True story. If you don't get anything else out of this message today, if there's nothing else I said that piqued your interest, I want you to remember this one thing. If you don't remember nothing else, mind your business. It don't cost you a thing. It'll keep you out a whole lot of mess. And when you finish doing that, mind your business some more. That being said, you guys have a good night, and I will see you next time. Bye.